Hello guys, welcome to the new chapter. We are going to start chapter 4 about measures of variability uh, from this week. This chapter is closely related to the previous chapter, measures of location. So please, if you haven't watched them, please watch them first. Watch chapter 3 first. Otherwise, it's hard to follow, or like reviewing the previous chapter briefly will also help even if you already watched them. The best is to watch the videos and like try the assignment first, chapter 3 assignment first, so that you can remind yourself of the concepts and make yourself more familiar with the mean, the median, percentiles, and then watch these videos. That will be excuse me, that'll be better. So by the way, I'm recording this video for the second time. I uh, I I my mic was maybe off in the middle of the video. My voice was not recorded in the video, so I am redoing it again. I'm very sad now. Okay, anyhow, guys, let's get started. So to summarize the chapter 3 and chapter 4 in two sentences, I would say this way. If you want to summarize data in one number, just give me one number, then it will be the mean. So use the mean, or if you have special concerns, then you may use a median. Anyhow, to summarize the data into one number, you will use a measure of central location, the mean or the median. But if you may use a second number, so summarize the data into two numbers, then you are going to use a measure of central location and a measure of variability. These two pair of numbers is the best way and actually most common way to describe data. That's the conclusion. So in practice, usually data are summarized into mean and standard deviation. These two numbers are the most important measures, and we are not using three numbers. That is rare. Most common practice is to use mean and standard deviation to describe a data set. So we are going to learn the second part, measure of variability, and the standard deviation is just one example, measure of variability. That's it. That's the conclusion. But let's go deeper. The textbook chapters are the same as the previous chapter. So usually the mean and variance go together. The measure of variability goes together with measure of central location. So they are described in the same chapters, in textbooks. So they are the same. And let's think about this histogram. In one graph, there are two histograms from two data sets, say the blue and the red. Clearly, you can tell the difference from the histograms. Blue is distributed like this, and red is distributed like this. And the outcome increases this way. So you can say that the red data are, in general, on average, bigger than the blue data set, right? So it's to the right, so it means it's bigger. And now to describe the difference, what you can say is the average of the red is greater than the average of the blue. The average of the blue, the center of the blue is here, must be here, and the center of the red must be somewhere here. So it doesn't need to be the mean. The mean or the median will be able to will capture the difference between these two data sets. And other than the center of the histogram, the shape of the distribution is similar. So you can think them as a parallel shift. So and when you shift histogram, then what changes is the center. So if you change center from there, and otherwise the shape is the same. So the difference between these two data sets is best described by a measure of central location. It summarizes these two data very well. However, now think about these two. The blue and the red are different again, and the blue is like this, and the red is like this. To describe their difference in words, I would say the distribution of the blue is more flat, or the observations of blue are more spread out, like it ranges from here to there, so it's further away. But the red is more spiked, or it's more concentrated. It's closer to the center. That's the main difference. However, in terms of the center, both are similar. Red and blue have similar mean, must be somewhere here. It's not exactly, but the numbers may be different, but the difference must be very, very small. So the difference is very small in terms of the center, but what matters here is not about the center, but about the spread, dispersion, or variability. So the blue observations are more spread out than the red, or the red is more concentrated than the blue. In this comparison, the mean cannot capture the difference. It's powerless. It's now useless, pretty much useless. So it means there is some information that is lost when you calculate the mean. So when you calculate the mean, some information is gone because you are summarizing the data into one number. So there must be some information lost during the process. That should be complemented by another measure, that is a measure of variability. It's about variability, as I showed you here. So the measures of central location captures where observations are located, where observations are centered around. It's not about the shape, but it's only about the center. So you are losing information about the shape of the distribution, how it looks like around the center, right? If you set the center at 0, then still the histogram must have some kind of shape, whether it's flat or it's concentrated, but you cannot tell from a measure of central location. That the lost information is provided by a measure of variability. It captures how far observations are from the center. So it's about spread or dispersion or variability, literally variability. So this contains the information in the measures of central location. So in most, of course, by the way, most of course, a measure of variability is not perfect. Neither is a measure of central location. They complement each other by presenting different aspects of the distribution. So these two usually go together, and you have to check both when you study some data. So we learned the measure of central location in the previous chapter. We learned the mean or the median. Okay, now we are in this chapter. We are going to study measures of variability. These are different from measures of central location, but very closely related. So so they are bundled in one chapter in many textbooks. Okay, we will start from an interesting example in the next video. Actually, I recorded the next video already. I have to redo it again. I lost my voice in the video. Look forward to that. It must be interesting example. See you in the next video. Thanks.